What's going on, y'all? Welcome back to another episode of The Jump. A lot of college basketball to get to, a little weekend recap, and my team might be just cooked. We'll talk about that and a whole lot more in this video. Thank you for tuning in. So we'll start out with a little bit of a recap. There's not a whole lot of game-wise that I want to talk about. There's just a few in particular that I need to mention. So first of all, Tennessee, Alabama on Saturday. Alabama collapse. Nate Oates leaves Knoxville with 2 timeouts in his pocket that he won't be able to use, and they get a 5-second violation and absolutely collapse that game, choke the game away, and they lost a game where you end up checking Twitter and you end up seeing the ESPN graphic of where it's 99% chance to win. They end up losing that game. Jemai Meshack, massive shot to win it, and you could see, you look over and Rick Barnes trying to call 55 timeouts. He even gets mad after the buzzer sounds at the ref because he didn't get his timeout. But probably because Jemai Meshack's not the one that you want to have shooting that shot. But he goes in, and that's all that matters. Jemai Meshack, obviously known for his defense and his intensity, everything, hits the buzzer beater. What an incredible shot, and he's already a Tennessee legend. This team's got the goods, man. They have the recipe to end up making this run in March. So it's been incredible to watch. Alabama, that officially lost them a chance to win the SEC regular season title. But these two teams, Alabama and Tennessee now has a little bit of an edge, but these two teams are duking it out for possibly the last 1 seed. I think Houston, Auburn, and Duke, if they all lose out, they're probably still the top 3 seeds. But that 4th seed, Tennessee, Alabama, these guys are fighting for it. And Tennessee, they've still never been a 1 seed in March, I'm pretty sure. I think so. Yeah, we're going to go with that. It would obviously be big news for Tennessee and Alabama. Just making that path for yourself is going to be incredible. And, if you are the last one, you're guaranteed to avoid Auburn and Duke for a very long time. So that's absolutely clutch. That is a clutch little aspect to it. My team. So for those of you that may be new, you can see some of the Kentucky stuff around here. We have the shot heard around the Bluegrass back in '98. The Cats thing here, John Wall poster over there. But I'm a Kentucky fan, but I'm a college basketball fan, so that's why I do this channel. I just like to talk college basketball. But sometimes I got to be a realist about my team. Saturday was historically low. Auburn hadn't beat us in Rupp since 1988, so that sucked. And this was an absolute beatdown. It was from start to finish. And I don't think Auburn is even they're maybe a top 3 defense we've played this year. Duke and Tennessee are definitely better defensively than Auburn is. That's not even a question in my mind. Auburn, defensively, yeah, they're great. And if you look at the turnovers, you're going to be like, oh my gosh, dude, they destroyed them. If you watch that game, especially right out of the half, we were just throwing the ball out with they were just unforced errors. We were just throwing it out, dribbling it off our foot, whatever. All these crazy things. And it was just, we could never get back into the flow of things. There was a lot of comments about the reffing. It wasn't historically bad. The Georgia game is the one where I'm yes, that one was bad. This Auburn game, and it's not going to make a 16-point difference anyways. You can point to the Andrew Carr one. Yes, that's a bad foul. They're humans. They're going to make bad calls. The double fouls, whatever. It seemed crazy to me, but there's bias in it. So at the end of the day, yeah, it kind of sucks, but man, it's not refs. That's not why we lost. So, yeah, it was an absolute beatdown. Like I said, Miles Kelly, and from Kentucky fans have this little thing. Once a team bakes in a 3, I think we've only won 1 game ever when that's happened. We're 1 in 5,000 when a team banks in a 3. Miles Kelly goes back-to-back banks in the first half, and so at that point I was well, if I was a betting man, I would probably just throw every dollar I've ever made on Auburn money line right now. But they were already up 10 at that point anyway. So, yeah, that was kind of the thing. And then Jackson, it comes out after the game that he's out for the rest of the year. I absolutely hate that for the guy. Yeah, that's just a brutal one, man. That kid, I say that kid, he's older than me, but that guy, man, he he's had an up and down college career, and he's dealt with mental health and these different things, and his wrist injury, and he tries to tough it out, played Oklahoma, and re-injures it. Man, he was in tears at the Oklahoma game, and now he's got to just watch his teammates the rest of this year, and just from the side on, man, it's sad. But I love this guy so much. I will forever have a crazy amount of respect for him. And he could have gone to the draft. He could have stayed at BYU. BYU's doing superb right now. I mean, I have it on my phone right now. They're up 9 at Iowa State. Like, he knew Kevin Young was coming in. He knew it was going to be excellent coaching. He follows Mark Pope, believes in him, trusts the system, and goes and follows him to Kentucky. And, like, I know, as a Kentucky fan, like, I might be like biased in saying it, but like Kentucky is the pinnacle of college basketball in my opinion. Like I think most people agree Kentucky's the best college basketball program of all time. Yes, like it's obviously a hot spot, people want to come there, but like these dudes did end up choosing to end their career in Lexington in front of BBN. Like these dudes that aren't like Jackson, they chose to trust in Pope, having not won an NCAA tournament game. Like great record and like all that, but they hadn't really seen it in this level. Like they believed in that, came to play for BBN, and they are leaving with absolute joy. And tonight was senior night, so I enjoyed watching that, an absolute beatdown on LSU. So all the seniors got to go out with a nice one. And I mean, even there was a video that UK Sports Video put out of like the guys, and it was like, all right, make a call to your younger self. And bro, that brought some like tears to a kid's eyes. Like, man, that was so sad. And the one thing they repeatedly mentioned was, man, I'm at Kentucky. Like Lamont, he was like, hey, you remember watching John Wall? Yeah, you're here now. Kobe Bryant, you're here at Kentucky now. Like, it was incredible to see just the like passion that they have for wearing that jersey. It's got me excited for March. But back to this game. Janai Broome, definitely his worst game. This game might have been the one that did it for National Player of the Year, but as I'm saying that, he's also playing another bad game. I thought in the second half he'd probably figure it out. He also got hurt at the end of the Kentucky game and got banged up and left the game in this A&M game, but now just recently came back. A&M is up 9 with 7:44 left. But Janai Broome, that was his worst game. This one might be just as bad. But yeah. I mean, I think this is kind of Cooper Flagg's race now, and this is a wild National Player of the Year race because it's just like up and down, and the odds just keep changing every single week. Like Cooper Flagg is just, it feels like to me running away with it. I think it's still a coin toss, but if you just watch like just off vibes alone, like Saturday Cooper Flagg had 16, 6, and 4, and Monday he had 28, 8, and 7. So like he's doing all of this. And he's not even playing like the last like 10 minutes because they're winning every game by like 35. So it feels like it's Cooper Flagg's award to lose at this point. I think he'll personally win it. I didn't have him as the National Player of the Year for rip. I knew he would end up being good as a freshman, but he's been as good, if not better, than advertised. And obviously it doesn't have like all of the flashy, crazy plays like a Zion had, but his defensive awareness and just intensity on the defensive end is just second to none. So he's been incredible to watch. I feel like it's kind of his now after a tough Janai game. And I mean, I'm pulling for Janai, but he still has a chance to do it. He's playing tonight at number 22 Texas A&M, and then gets number 7 Alabama. So like maybe a crazy Bama game will get it done for him if he can dominate that game. But it's definitely a tough spot for him now. Sunday, Michigan State and Wisconsin. Jaden Akins' game is what I'm going to call this one because he was absolutely hooping in the first half. He was hot. He finished with 19 points. This was kind of the game where it was like Michigan State's down at half. They've got to respond. Jace Richardson in quick foul trouble picks up 2 quick ones. But he comes out, plays great in the second half. Kohler gets like, what do you have, 17 boards, 16 boards, whatever it was. They just ball out the whole second half. They finished this game on a strong note, and they're the best team in the Big Ten, and it's just not even a debate anymore. Like there for a while, it was like, oh, is it Michigan? Is it Wisconsin? Is it Purdue? Is it Michigan State? Like there's not even a question anymore. It's just this is Michigan State's Big Ten, and they're about to run away with it. But the big takeaway for me, so obviously there was all the drama of like the no way Izzo's going to break Bobby Knight's record against Indiana, right? Like, that's not going to happen, is it? Indiana beats them. World's like, yep, basketball gods aren't going to allow that. You can't do that against Indiana. That was February 11th. They've won 5 straight quad 1 games since then. At Illinois, Purdue, at Michigan, at Maryland, and Wisconsin. And I mentioned Tennessee and Alabama fighting for that last 1 seed. Michigan State. They might be knocking on the door. So it's going to be super interesting to follow. I'm excited just to follow these Spartans going down. Like it's fun. This is such a fun team because, like, I know a lot of Michigan State fans have said, like, in the past, like, I have a buddy that's around Detroit that I've talked to where he's like, the years we're not supposed to do something, that's when we, like, succeed. This Michigan State team, I just liked the mix of talent. I never thought Jace Richardson would end up being a quarter of what he is now. But the mix of, like, talent, that's why I picked them preseason to win the Big Ten. They're winning it just because they're, like, great at every little thing that they need to be great at. Like, they can't shoot threes, but to counter that, they have one of the best three-point defenses in the country. They're rebounding the absolute crap out of the ball. They're sitting down playing defense. They're counteracting, like, everything that's a flaw for them. And then just the familiarity with these guys that all return, with Xavier Booker looking all right now. This team's just fun, man. Like, and then you get the highlight guy with Cohen Carr. So this group of the Spartans is a blast to follow, and I've enjoyed watching them all year, and I'm excited to see them in March. And obviously getting as high a seed as possible would be huge for Mr. March himself, Tom Izzo. Iowa State is back. This is awkward. I typed this today. They're now trailing by 5 at home with 3:22 left, and Curtis Jones just stole it, got fouled. Okay. But yeah, speaking of Curtis Jones, if he's back fully healthy, I think he had the flu for like 3 games. Yeah, Curtis Jones being back and being like off the bench, it's incredible. They just feel back. Like, this is what the Iowa State team was. Iowa State had the crazy run to start like Big 12 play where it was like, dang, bro, this is actually, they're going to dominate the Big 12. They get hurt. Chilovich goes out. There's sicknesses, everything, like all these little things going on. They're back. They started this game well too, and then BYU went on just an absolute ridiculous run, and like it was probably in like the middle 8. Like, they went on like a 19-5 run before. I don't. It was something crazy. I would just keep looking, and I was like, dang, like, what is happening? So yeah, that one was tough, and while I'm at it, I'll mention these other games. I think SMU is technically on the bubble. They're down 4, down 6 now in Dallas to Syracuse. Indiana's down 2 in Eugene against Oregon. Indiana has the ball. And who was that? Somebody just hit a 3. 64-63. Indiana. They lead in Eugene. And A&M is still up 11. Zerrick Phelps just missed a free throw. So, great basketball on tonight. I hated that I had to film it right now, but I'm trying to just get the content out when I can. So, moving on, I do need to mention Kansas. Kansas. So there was a little bit of like drama with them this weekend. Obviously, I'll mention that, but they lose that game to Texas Tech Saturday. Not a bad loss, you know. This is like just a cherry on top of what's been a bad season, though. So that's the problem. Texas Tech, great team. It's not the fact that it's them. It's all these home losses piled up and all these losses overall. So Bill Self releases a statement. That's almost panic button. Like, you can't just like release a statement that like on a whole graphic that was made. That's terrifying. But if you're giving up on Kansas, you're done. So DeJuan Harris, I think KJ Adams is gone after this year, right? DeJuan Harris definitely is. Hunter Dickinson definitely is. But like, it's gonna be a new like fresh crew, and like, I know Kansas fans got to be excited for what the future holds with Darren Peterson coming in. Like, Darren Peterson, I think, is going to make like a Dylan Harper impact. And if you're throwing like Dylan Harper on this Kansas team, it's a completely different team. Darren Peterson is incredible. He is absolutely incredible. If it's not for AJ DeBanza, he is clearly by far and away the number 1 guy in this class. I'm super excited to watch him. And then Flory Badungo will be back. I don't know what the status of all these transfers is, like what classes they are, but and then they'll hit the portal. They're going to be perfectly fine. They will be new, fresh. Everything's going to be a blast next year. So if you are a Kansas fan, obviously you have all the optimism in the world And I'm excited as an outsider, as a Kentucky fan, just to watch Kansas next year, just to see the kind of new wave of Kansas basketball. The statement and the drama, that was kind of the Kansas chaos of the weekend, I guess. So the drama was Zeke Mayo, obviously a Lawrence kid. He grows up there, plays at South Dakota State, leads the country or I think he was the leading scorer in the portal. Kansas brings him in. He plays horrible Saturday. And he ends up releasing the messages that people were messaging him. Absolutely horrible messages. There's no way these people would ever say them in person. It's because they're tucked behind a screen. It's horrible that anybody would even think to, like, send these things. So I'm not trying to draw light to it. I'm trying to say, like, look in the mirror before you do this. And I think of, like, other people around you. Because this says, like, this is just, it's a horrible thing to do. Like, I hate that this happens. Like, I'm around the age of these, like, college athletes, and I know, like, if I was getting these messages and I was receiving these messages, like, there's no way I'd be able to, like, handle this. Like, the pressure that you already have playing at a program like Kansas, and then you have to deal with this alongside that. Like, I feel so bad for Zeke Mayo. I'll pray for him and his mental health and just bringing, like, peace over him. Like, it's a terrible situation. I hope these fans kind of get a little punishment and get what they deserve, or I guess fans in quotations. But yeah, it's horrible. I hate it for Zeke Mayo. One of the crazy stats for Kansas that's been going around, I saw this on Twitter like 3 times now, I think. Since 2000, Kansas's worst seed was a 4 seed. That will end this year. I don't know what their at best will be. I mean, they're probably going to end up being like a 7, I would guess. But that streak is going to end this year. It's kind of sad. They had that streak of the AP Top 25, and then now they'll be losing this streak. And then they lost at Houston on Monday, but they put up a fight. It was a good little battle. It was promising, and yeah, it's just tough time. And I mean, the 4 seed, like I mentioned, that was last year. So like, if you're a casual or something, you can kind of look like, well, they were a 4 seed, and then the streak breaks. Like, are they going downhill? Is Bill Self on the hot seat? No. If you think any of that, no, you just don't think that at all. Like, that's crazy. Bill Self literally won a title like 3 years ago, has every trophy known to man, probably the best coach in the game. He's not on the hot seat. It's crazy. Now, from this point, we're less than 2 weeks from Selection Sunday. Selection Sunday is the 16th. It's 12 days away. I'm so excited. So when this is coming out, it'll be 11 days. I can't wait. Like I said, it's been great basketball tonight. I know conference championships are starting all across the country already. Next week's going to be crazy for conference championships and just conference tournaments in general. Like, it's going to be amazing. Like, there's so much to play for, from like bubble teams in the SEC to like teams like Michigan State where they can play for a 1 seed, or St. John's that can end up winning it and getting up as high as they can get seed wise. So it's going to be super fun to follow, and I'm glad you all are here to join me in that journey. I'm so excited. Yeah, we're here. It officially says March on the calendar. So this will be the first episode where this banner type thing, it'll be like right here. It'll be this corner. I don't know where it's at, but it'll say March. That is incredible. That is the most exciting time of the year as a college basketball fan. And as John Rothstein says, we sleep in May. Thank you for tuning in. Peace.